Hello, my name is Paul Roath, and today I'll be giving a summary over the tip sheet email or attachment that the professor sent during the beginning of the class. The first thing that is discussed on the tip sheet is speeches. Some of the keynotes of that are that speeches exceeding the time limits noted in the tip sheet itself as 4 minutes will be docked 10 points for each additional minute. This is clearly very important when communicating. Is you need to know how long an appropriate time is to speak so you don't maybe become boring or overstate your point. And then additionally, sometimes when you do communicate or give speeches, you are contained to a certain time limit, so you need to be able to work that into your speech and know how to fit the correct amount of information, the important information, into a certain time constraint. Additionally, it's noted that late speeches will not be graded at all, and that speeches must be given in a proper room, so no bathrooms or kitchen settings. He does want us to be in a somewhat professional setting when giving the speech, which I think is mostly so you feel more formal when you're giving the speech versus maybe just laying on your bed talking as you would Skyping someone. Additionally, further on in the class, it'll be required that you have 2 adult audience members must be present, and all assignments are due before 6 a.m. on Friday. That was some confusion for me personally, so it's good that in the tip sheet it further clarifies that. Next, he discusses assignments and that there will be no rewrites or redeliveries. He does state, though, that as you're preparing your speech and giving it, before you submit it, that would be your time to do your retakes. But once you submit the item, and if you don't get the grade you like, you cannot request to resubmit it. Additionally, when we send him written speeches or outlines, that we need to make sure that we underline the thesis and topic sentence, and that everything written on all the speeches. And if that's not done, then there will be a 30-point penalty assessed. Finally, under assignments, he makes it very clear that speech summaries and PowerPoints must be in our own words. He wants us to be able to communicate ourselves versus copying and pasting somebody else's work. And obviously, plagiarism will not be tolerated. When he explains the grades on the tip sheet, the important thing to note is that grades will be posted within 72 hours. So he does do a good job, which is, I think, why he makes it due on that Thursday or Friday before, so he can get them graded Friday and Saturday. When it comes to the computer, every student needs to have, obviously, internet access because it's an online course, as well as Windows Word 2007 or higher to be able to write those speeches and send them to him in the correct format. In regards to instructions or speech instructions, he gives us the advice of paralysis or analysis paralysis. So pretty much what he's stating is just do what is required. Don't try to overthink the project or put too much into it that's unnecessary. Sometimes people get overwhelmed and they respond by overwhelming the audience with their information. So just kind of stick to the point, make it clear and concise, and we should be good to go. Additionally, if you need to speak to the professor, he states that when you do email him, use his Columbus State email, and then he asks that you be polite and courteous. He notes that nowadays with text messaging and email, it's much more informal, so people think that they can speak in a much more aggressive or alpha male-like format in which they would never speak to that person in person like that. So again, just remember that you are speaking to someone, an actual human, your professor, importantly, and just make sure that you speak to them in a proper manner. He finally gives us some tips for recording the speech. He says take multiple takes if necessary. If it's not enough time, or it's overtime, or you feel that you're just not getting enough of your information out there that's necessary, go ahead and do a retake. And then finally he talks about topic selection, and he pretty much places the onus on us, that students are ultimately responsible for each speech. And with that, that is my summary of the tip sheet. Thank you.